Well, okay, we're finally here. I see you all are very excited. I know you're all excited because you've been coming to the various booths asking all day long, when does this happen? Well, it happens right now. As you see, we have an incredible book right now. It is just booming in popularity. It's Raven, and why are you listening to me when you can meet the people behind it? We have Kami Garcia and Gabriel Picolo. Please welcome them to the stage. Yeah. And I'm Benjamin LeClaire, but I'm going to turn it over to the writer. Here you go. This is for Kami.
Thank you. Hey, you guys. Sorry, I'm losing my voice because we were on tour, so I'll do my best. So Gabriel's going to draw for you. I want to see what's going to happen. I think it's going to go up there, unless, like, I have a... What's wrong?
No, hold on.
Hold on. Don't look at his secret password.
Okay, yeah, I'm good.
You good? Okay. So he's going to draw some stuff from Teen Titans Raven, which is our book. And I'm going to talk to you about how we made the book. And then I might ask him some questions to make his life difficult, right? So I am a YA novelist traditionally. I am the shorter half of Beautiful Creatures. And I've written a bunch of books by myself. And DC decided to hire some YA novelists to do some of their favorite characters. And the Titans are some of my favorite characters. So when I got to do them, I didn't realize I would get to choose an artist to get any input. I thought that they were just going to assign me someone. So they said, who do you want to be your artist? And they sent me all these fancy artists that were amazing. But I really wanted Raven to look like you guys. Well, not if you're dressed like, but you normally. I wanted Raven to look like a regular teenage girl. I wanted her to wear ripped up jeans and Converse and look like somebody who could be in your English class, right? Or in your college course. So I'd seen Gabriel's work on Pinterest, and I showed it to them, and I said, I want it to look like this. And they said, well, that guy is the only person who does that. And to me, that sounded like no. But then they said, we'll get in touch with him. So I was super excited. Usually Gabriel tells this part of the story, but he has to concentrate. So I was really excited, and they said, don't contact him. We don't want him to know who's writing the book. We're going to do it. You just hang tight. So I wait, and like 2 weeks go by, and then I was like, how's it going? And they said, well, he doesn't respond to our emails. So I was like, what do you mean he's not responding to your emails? They're like, we've emailed him from several accounts, and he has not returned any of our emails. And I know, I've stalked his Instagram. I know how he's like, I'd love to work for DC one day. So I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So I decided I'm going to try to message him. But they said, don't message him, and he didn't follow me. So I knew if I messaged him, everyone would see it. So my plan was foiled. And they were like, one more week, and you have to pick again. And finally, Gabriel, did you not want to work for DC? Is that what's going on?
No, the thing is, I thought it was a scam the whole time. Yeah, because it was a little bit too good to be true. I've been using social media for a while, so I know this sort of stuff happens. They said...
Tell them the funny part of what part of the email to you made you think it was fake.
Because it was like they were asking me to draw the Teen Titans the way that I was already drawing them. So it was a little bit too good to be true. So.
And then he said, and it had the DC logo, and I was like, that didn't add any legitimacy for you, and he was like, no.
No, because people can fake that stuff.
Like, that made it seem more fake.
Yeah, exactly.
So eventually, enough people had emailed him from DC that he responded, and then we got to work together. And we had a very similar vision for the project. I'm a Teen Titans fan, and I like to put my own spin on things, but I don't like it when people take characters that I love and then ruin them. So they were like, you could do whatever you want, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. So I wanted to kind of just take Raven's story and make part of it more grounded and find a way to add to it without taking away the things that Marv Wolfman had already done so well. He's one of the Marv Wolfman and George Perez created her. So I felt like they did a pretty good job. So I didn't need to mess with perfection. I was just going to add to it. So we put her in regular clothes, some very cool outfits, I must say. We took her jewel that's usually on her head and we put it on a necklace. She doesn't really know how her powers work 100% at the beginning of the book, which is problematic and they cause her a lot of stress and problems. We also set the book in New Orleans, mostly because I like to go there and eat. But it's a really fun place. They have cool graveyards. They have, Gabriel and I did it. I don't know if any of you guys saw, we did a DC Instagram takeover. And in the stories, we went and got our cards, our tarot cards read, and our tea leaves read in New Orleans. And my tea leaves were like, you are such a hard worker. And I was like, can you please record this whole thing? I'm going to play it for my publisher later.
That was my first time doing a tarot reading, and the guy, he mentioned the stuff about travels and work, and that was pretty much accurate. He didn't know any of this, so.
That's true, and he, we had different readings.
Yeah, different people, yeah.
So I didn't get to hear his, but I got to see it on the story. We read our cards, and I chose New Orleans. I write about the South a lot. It's a place that feels really magical. There are amazing, great, I really like cemeteries, but these are like gorgeous above ground graveyards, you know, like not just where there's like little tiny stones, there's like giant mausoleums. It's really beautiful. There's like a lot of creep factor. It feels like all kinds of stuff could go down there. And then in New Orleans, there's all these ghost stories about spirits and things that haunt the graveyard at night. So I don't really want to be part of that because I'm a huge chicken, but I like the idea that it could happen. So one of the first things that Gabriel and I did was, aside from Raven, this is an origin story. So she doesn't have the other Titans. And it wouldn't be very fun if she was all alone in the book, right? So I created some other characters. And I created one character who's my favorite. Her name is Max. She's Raven's foster sister. She's very sassy. She has like pony buns and she's wild and she does whatever she wants. But I had her in my head. And so Gabriel's like, what does she look like? And I gave him like, she's tall, she has brown skin, she's like sassy, he's like, okay, I got it. And he started creating like clothing for her, like an outfit. And she has a cool t-shirt that says, a friend of mine used to say it in high school, it says, you're using my oxygen. That's what she used to say when boys hit on her. She's really mean to guys.
And we also we got a Max. Max is the name of the character.
Yeah, Max.
And we got a cosplay of her. Where was that?
At the Grove in LA.
That was incredible.
so
That was the
cool.
first time I got to see because that character, we create that character from scratch. So seeing that character being cosplayed
And
was
she looked
something
just
else.
like her.
A what?
She looked just like her.
Yeah, exactly. Like she didn't have to do any effort to look
She
like
wears
Max.
like those awesome like burgundy, like the Forces female, like Air Force, Nikes, and she's really cool. And there's much outrage about there's a boy, and they're like, that's not Beast Boy. And I was like, well, she doesn't know him yet. So there's a boy, there's other friends.
There's some iconic Teen Titans characters, Teen Titans villains that we can't talk about because that will be a spoiler, and I'm terrible with spoilers.
Gabriel
so.
gets tired, and then he's like ready to spill all the beans. He's like ready to tell everyone the entire series and like get us in big trouble. So I'm always like, you cannot, no spoilers. And it was really fun to write. It was really easy. We had a really, for Gabriel, the most important thing was he wanted the characters to be relatable because he is much closer to being a teen than me, even though he's in his 20s. And he was like, I want other people to be able to like relate to these characters. And for me, Raven's real deal is, how do you have an inner struggle? Like, how do you deal with not being 100% necessarily good all the time and the person that you want to be? And how do you define yourself? Especially if your dad is like a huge big bad, which that I also kept because, like, there's nothing more fun than having like a terrifying demon in your book. So for us, it was really, her journey is really about trying to figure out her powers, which she doesn't 100%, because like there are more books. This is a series, but also it was about figuring out who she wants to be and how she wants to define herself. Who she, how she wants to, the person she wants to be, not the person that everyone's telling her that she is. And then at the end, if you get the book, at the end of the book, what's at the end of the book, Gabriel?
What?
What's at the end of the book?
I can't talk about it because that would be
No,
spoilers.
not the ending. After the ending, the special
Oh,
thing
yeah,
at the end.
okay.
The thing you can talk about.
So everyone knows that I'm currently drawing a Beast Boy graphic novel, which is the sequel to the Raven one, and you have a preview of that on the back of the Raven book.
So in the very end, there's a chapter of Beast Boy.
Yeah.
And at our events, we don't say that because it's really fun to tell people when they come up to get their book signed and they didn't notice. But I'll tell you guys because, in case you don't have it, this is the end. And that's also an origin. So the way the books work is each one is a character's story. And then they don't get together in their individual books. They will get together after you, get to know more about them in their solos. I really wish we could. There's also a really cool cat in the book.
A what?
That cat.
Oh, yeah.
The cat is not a main character, but I really like the cat anyways. You know what a Sphinx cat is? It's like a hairless cat. So it's a hairless cat. She doesn't have any hair. She looks really terrifying in the book. I'm actually a little bit scared of cats. They say cats can, in the South, people believe that cats can see spirits, which, so I don't want it. I don't have a cat. Because if there's spirits at my house, I don't want to know about it. It's better like seen and not heard. So I have 2 dogs. They're not bright, and I feel like if there are spirits in my house, they would not be able to see them.
I was staying at Kami's house for a while, and her dogs are so cute.
They are. They're named Spike and Oz. They're very cute, but they're not. One of them is not. The small one is not a genius. He's like a little miniature long-haired dachshund. Everyone's like, you should put him in the book, and I was like, no, he has a bigger head already. He doesn't need to be in the book. We're putting a scary cat in the book. What are you doing now?
I'm going to move that to Photoshop.
Okay. You have a couple minutes. That's it. Like, you got...
Oh, really?
Yeah. Why?
Oh,
What's
damn,
happening?
I was going to color this. Okay.
You can start coloring it a
All
little.
right.
You can color it a little bit.
All right.
Color some hair. Color hair or something.
Yeah.
Color some specific features. I'm waiting for like your baby pictures to pop up on there.
No. It just has like lots of drawings,
I was
and
just
it's a
worried about
mess.
that for a second.
My syntax is a mess. I don't want people to look at that.
I'm pretty sure DC didn't want them to look at it either. You don't have anything in folders.
I don't work with folders.
Of course not. Doesn't work with folders.
Oh yeah, exactly. It has to be a mess. So
I'm
like,
creative. I
have
have a
that
lot of
energy,
folders.
that chaos.
I was a teacher though, so I have a lot of folders. But I'm not. Although I will say that the problem with folders is they're easy to lose on your desktop because they get into other folders, and there's apparently a way to find them once they're not where you put them, but I don't know how to do that. So I have to open everything on my desktop to find them. I know it's a problematic. My son's way better on the computer, so my son or daughter can help me now. But when they were too young, I was like, I was sunk. So the other thing that's really cool about the book is it has really you can't tell as much from the cover, but it has a really cool color scheme. It's not fully colored. It has, it's kind of a cool palette. It has purples and blues and grays, and there are some full color pages and splash pages, but it has this like very moody vibe, which I like because I feel like, see, Gabriel's kind of doing it. Because I feel like Raven has a moody vibe, so it goes well with her. So it has this, they call it a limited color palette, where I feel like it really adds to the book because it makes it seem really unique. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. So I watch him, he will work at my kitchen table when I'm working at my kitchen table, but usually I am either pretending to work and not really working, so I don't always see what he's doing. I'm doing like social media or stuff, or I'm eating. Or then I really do try to work so that I don't seem like a slacker. Because it's bad when you have like another person you work with and you're not working and they are, and then everyone catches on. That like then my kids will be like, "Are you doing any work?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm totally working. I just haven't written any words." But the beauty is I am always ahead of him. So I can always be like, I'm ahead of the game. So I feel like I'm not totally failing because I have at least 2 people behind me. At least Gabriel and the letter are behind me.
And I have to admit, I draw very slow, so...
Do you believe that?
So Kami
You just drew like a whole thing.
No, so Kami has to put up with all with my schedule, like, because sometimes I usually take a lot to finish just one page.
It depends. He's like picky about certain pages.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna stop. Gabriel, you have to finish color one more thing. We gotta go.
All right.
We're gonna sign books. We are signing at Metropolis. I don't know what that means, but that is somewhere in this giant compound. It's that way, all the way down.
All right.
We're signing there for the next hour, right?
Okay.
And then if you go on our social media, we are signing and doing lots of panels this week and the next couple days. So you can see us and come say hi. Let's give Gabriel a hand since
Yeah.
he did more work than
Thank
me.
you so much. Thank you so much for coming, y'all. Thank you.
Okay, we have to go sign in a minute. So you have to like
You have to actually finish.
really wrap
Yeah.
this up, like for real.
Yeah.
Here, look up. Ready?
Okay, so if you haven't, let's go out and get Raven. You can see how fantastic it is. And is this not a cool treat? And since she didn't give it up for herself, let's give it up for Kami as well, please. This is a great storyteller, both in the print medium and in real life. So
Yeah, I can talk.
yeah.
Okay, we gotta go. So we're gonna sign books.
Let's do it.
You're like off duty now. You get to not draw now.
Okay. Can I turn this off?
Yeah.
Right,
Can we,
I'd head over to
can we
Metropolis
can
now.
turn it off now, right? Okay, guys, we're gonna go over there. So come hang out with us on the other side.